Congratulations to the new two-time WBC super middleweight champion of the world, David Benavidez. David Benavidez, man, this was the best opponent he fought in his whole career, no question about it. You know what I mean? The dog had only one loss in his career, and that was to Badu Jack. Throughout his career, he has tried to avoid significant fights, at least guys who he wasn't favored to beat. But at the end of the day, he came through tonight, you know what I mean? He came through. He tried to fight, man, despite that massive cut, you know what I mean? The first round was kind of close. I gave it to the dog Dirrell because he was busier, you know what I mean? Round two, David Benavidez is stalking, walking his opponent down using his jab. He was unleashing combinations, you know what I mean? And when the dog was on the ropes, the dog was landing nothing, of significance, but he was only backing up, you know what I mean? So I gave round two to the man David Benavidez. Round three, the dog was making it interesting, throwing wild looping left hooks. A lot of them were missing, you know what I mean? It looked like he was, like I said in my little preview that I did earlier in the day, he's going to be sitting back timing that left hook countering, you know what I mean? But he was out of distance, out of range, and he was missing a lot. But he eventually started catching the man David Benavidez with that looping left hook, you know what I mean? I still gave round three to David Benavidez, even though the dog finished strong, because he was landing more and throwing more. Round four, the dog was landing big straight right hands at the end of the round, you know what I mean? And combinations on David Benavidez while Benavidez was on the ropes. It was a close round. I had to give it to the dog, you know what I'm saying? Round five, the dog I'm sorry, David was looking very basic. He was looking basic all through the fight, no lie about it. From round one through round nine when the eventual stoppage happened. He was looking very basic, you know what I mean, moving in straight lines, not giving any angles, being very predictable, you know what I mean. The dog Dirrell occasionally, was landing some straight right hands, lead right hands, you know what I mean. But I'll give the man credit, David Benavidez. He did keep a tight, high guard, you know what I'm saying. Um, but he was looking basic about walking the dog down. But when he does open up and unleashing some combos, I mean, the dog was blocking punches too. You know what I'm saying? The dog wasn't getting caught with nothing of significance till round six when he got cut with a massive cut right above his right eye. You know what I mean? In a close round, but that's two fights in a row. The last fight he had a massive cut was against Yildirim in his last fight, and that fight ended in the 10th round, but that was his left eye. This time it was his right eye, you know what I mean? Um, Massive cut, man. It looked real disgusting, you know what I mean? And it was leaking. The dog kept dabbing at it, and I really didn't like that too much because that almost is like an indication that he wants to get out the fight. But so be it. It happened in the sixth. He went through the seventh, you know what I mean? It was leaking bad. The, he was stepping up the pace, though, you know what I mean? Hit that thumbs up. B Marsh Boxing, post fight review. Hit that thumbs up. You heard? But the doctors also were stopping the fight in round seven to look at it, and it looked like they might stop the fight. And they let the fight go on. The crowd liked that. They was cheering for that. You know what I mean? There was also a low blow, I believe, in round five or six. But David Benavidez was banging the dog on the ropes. You know what I mean? Kept catching him on the ropes. The dog, was blocking most of them. You know what I mean? But from a judging perspective, he wasn't really throwing nothing back, and he did get caught with a big left hook in round eight. Round nine, they came out. The man eye still leaking. In round nine, he was just running. He was just running, and when David Benavidez caught up to him, he just unleashed combinations, and the, the referee stopped the fight. You know what I mean? There was actually the doctors came running on top of on the canvas in the ring, trying to stop the fight, but the referee had his back turned towards the doctor, so he ain't see the doctor waving frantically to stop the fight. But eventually he got to find out, yeah, stop the fight, and he stopped the fight, and the dog loses his title just like that. You know what I mean? I did predict this fight would probably go. I should have put some money on it. I said it's probably going to be a ninth round stoppage. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised if the fight did go the distance just off the strength. I've seen guys like Ronald Gavril go the distance with David Benavidez, but not tonight. David Benavidez was not to be deterred. The guy was on a mission to get back his title, and now 22 years old, only 22 years old, and he's a two-time world champion, WBC super middleweight champion. Congratulations, B Marsh Boxing. Big up to my man Set Shot. What the deal, fam? Set Shot in the chat. What's going on, Slim? He says punching bag defense, real heavy hands though. Yeah, got heavy hands, and the dog Dirrell, he can punch too. You know what I mean? But that jab, all that the that Benavidez was throwing all night, set the table, and it actually laid the table, and he finished. He finished dinner. He cleaned his opponent out. So it's a good fight for the few 9 rounds it lasted. The dog Dirrell, he's a two-time world champion himself. You know what I mean? That's one thing his brother, that the Matrix never achieved. And the Matrix, Andre Dirrell, to me was always better, talented fighter. But sometimes you just gotta have luck like the dog Dirrell. Unlike the Matrix, who did go through the gauntlet trying to get world title opportunities, and when he did, he ran into some bad MFs. B Marsh Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments. Big up the Set Shot. Hey, thanks for everybody coming through. Hit that thumbs up on your way in and on your way out. If you're new to the channel, please share and subscribe. And I'm gone. And the new